Back to the Sports Shuffle for the third time tonight. We are going to be doing
We
our mock
we
draft.
I felt like we've done this already today.
So we are actually going to have Zach join us once again. He did our mocks last week. He's going to join this one. He didn't do the first one. He asked for an invite for this one. So going to send that over to him and wait. He's going to be team number 9 on this draft. This draft is going to be a little bit of a practice run of what you're going to see tomorrow. So tomorrow night is our 10-team full draft, and it's going to be a little bit competitive. So once Zach joins in, we'll be able to start this one. But there he
Is
is.
already here.
Yeah, Joel is here. Zach is now on the board. So, Joel, tomorrow night and in this mock draft, we'll be drafting number 3 overall. I will be drafting tonight and tomorrow as number 7 overall, and for both drafts, Zach
We
will be at
spun
number
the
9.
wheel and we did the numbers for this.
Yes. If you're interested, the draft lottery videos are up just to see how we did them. They kind of worked out, so probably gonna do that again. So for this mock draft, again, this is basically the practice run. This is the last one we're going to do together before the real thing tomorrow night. 1 quarterback, 2 running back, 2 wide receivers, a tight end, a wide receiver, running back, tight end, flex, kicker, defense, and 6 bench spots. Joel, you ready to do this?
I is ready to rumble.
And it's going. McCaffrey 1, Henry 2. I think that makes this choice insanely easy as Taylor falling to 3. Don't get used to it. You know what? I'm going to do something a little different here. I'm going to go with Joe Mixon at 7. I don't know if I would do that in a real draft, but I have my reasoning. I don't want to unveil it yet, but I might go with a Viking a little bit later on. Zach on the clock.
Zach is Apex, right?
Yeah, Zach is Apex Legend 29. If you can see it on this little screen that pops up in the top left corner. Tomorrow we're going to do the full draft. We're going to have it's going to be interesting trying to get this to set up. So Stefan Diggs, Harris, and Adams at the turn. Let's see who he comes back with because this could get very interesting here. And I might have screwed up already. No, thank God. He takes DeAndre Swift. I was worried Jamar Chase was going to get back to me at pick 14, and I couldn't go mix and chase stack. So let's go with, let's go with Alvin Kamara. Joe Mixon and Alvin Kamara start for me. Then over to Joel. Jonathan Taylor at 103. What an just absurd. And then Nick Chubb. Can't blame you there. Back to Joel. Allen, Javonte Williams, Mark Andrews, Leonard Fournette, Mike Evans high on the board. And he goes Javonte. Interesting. Running back to start. I got to take your team, your player, Mike Evans. And I know Zach's a Bucks fan, so to see Evans Fournette go back to back right before him when he can use either one of them, it might be a little bit disappointing. Zach with the Diggs Swift start, passing on Chase to go Diggs and Swift, which is a different play, not a bad one, just a little bit different. On the clock, minute 25. So Joel, I see you started 3 running backs. What's the thinking there? This isn't going to be a PPR league, by the way, when we do it tomorrow.
Well, just thinking how important running back depth is, as especially when I did the other mock draft and I'm doing wide receiver, wide receiver, wide receiver.
Yeah, I think once you get past maybe the middle of the 3rd round in a 10-team league, it starts to get a little bleak at the running back position. So there's options later. They're not ones you're necessarily going to love. So Zach on the clock, 50 seconds left. Has started one wide receiver running back, so he does leave himself open to pretty much do whatever he wants here. 40 seconds. He's thinking Keenan Allen, then back to Zach here. 2 wide receivers and a running back so far. Again, we're getting that point where the running back is going to get a little scarce for your top end. I think there's 3 or 4 left that you can realistically say you've got high hopes for. Zach taking his time, which makes me think he's going beyond the top 2 or 3 on the board. Right now, the top players, Zeke Elliott, T. Higgins, Justin Herbert, Cam Akers, George Kittle, Terry McLaurin, Michael Pittman Jr., David Montgomery, Darren Waller, and Deontay Johnson. Top 10 based on ADP.
Who's getting Zeke?
I'm getting Zeke. I almost took him at my last pick, so when he falls to me there, I'm taking Zeke 100% of the time in round number 4. Akers goes to Zach, McLaurin between the two of us. So Joel's got 3 running backs, Taylor, Chubb, and Williams. I think it's probably time for a wide receiver. Not a guarantee. Again, he could take an ETN or Breece Hall or one of those tight ends. He goes T. Higgins, a lot of upside there. And back to Joel. At this point, I'd say you're in that running back dead zone we talked about a little bit earlier tonight. And Joel doesn't have to worry about it. He goes Higgins and Waddle, 2 very young, skilled wide receivers. So, yeah, we're going to go Courtland Sutton here because I have been taking him a lot. I like the option. Evans, Sutton, wide receiver 1 and 2 for myself. Mixon, Kamara, and Elliott at the running back slot. So now it's Jerry Jeudy to Zach. Metcalf, Cooper on the turn. Gibson, Mike Williams, J.K. Dobbins, Joe Burrow, Elijah Mitchell, Dalton Schultz, Kyler Murray, Marquise Brown, the top 8 by ADP at this point.
Diggs, Swift, Allen, and Akers. So definitely, Marquise Brown.
Marquise Brown, that makes my life a little easier. Mike Williams there at 6.4. Jeudy and Brown, you got a lot of upside. He does go wide receiver heavy, Swift and Akers. He's going to want to work on that running back depth here a little bit later. But for right now, a very solid start for Zach. I love my start. Joel with his 6th pick, running back, wide receiver, Taylor, Chubb, Williams, Javonte Williams, T. Higgins, Jalen Waddle. Lot of options here, pretty much a mixed bag across the board. A running back, 2 tight ends, 2 quarterbacks, 2 wide receivers. That's your next 10 or so. I mean, you've got a lot of options here. And Elijah Mitchell, he goes back to the running back well. I don't hate it, though. Elijah Mitchell with the Niners could have a ton of upside. Burrow, Murray off the board, and A.J. Dillon. Jalen Hurts, another guy with a lot of upside at that position. So this is why I didn't take Dalvin Cook, because I can come back and get Adam Thielen. I didn't want to take Viking, and Thielen as a wide receiver 4 is, I think, an absolute steal on this one. Zach now back on the clock. Diggs, Swift, Allen, Akers, Jeudy, and Hollywood Brown. 2 running backs, 4 receivers so far. Again, lots of options here. Pretty much any position you could want or desire would be available at the ADP we're at now. But we're getting to that time. If you want someone, you can reach down into that next group of people. You got Gabe Davis, a lot of hype. Drake London could be a good pick. This is a tier down from where we're at in the ADP. Juju, Amon-Ra, St. Brown. He goes Darnell Mooney, who's a good pick there. Hawkinson, Juju. He goes Russell Wilson. Hawkinson falls right before my pick. And then, oh boy. Let's see. I've got Zeke, so I don't want to go that route. Ay. There's a point in every draft where you get to a spot you don't love it. So let's see. Running back options are nothing exciting right now. Let's go Juju. Let's take a chance that Juju's going to return to wide receiver 1 form. The other one I was thinking about was Gabe Davis, who goes immediately after. Joel back on the clock. He goes Dallas Goedert to pair with Jalen Hurts. Back on the clock again for Joel. Jalen Hurts at quarterback, Taylor and Chubb at running back, T. Higgins, Jalen Waddle at wide receiver, Dallas Goedert in the tight end spot, and Javonte Williams in the flex. For Come on. We got to get down to Zach's team if we can. Computers are fun. Zach, right now, Russell Wilson, DeAndre Swift, Cam Akers at running back, Stephon Diggs, Keenan Allen, Jerry Jeudy, and then on the bench, Marquise Brown and Darnell Mooney. And then back to me. I am on the clock here, and I don't hate that. Oh boy. There's a lot of decent options here. I think I'm going to go and get that tight end now. I think Zach Ertz is going to be very good to start the season while DeAndre Hopkins is out. So I have no quarterback yet. Joe Mixon, Alvin Kamara at running back, Mike Evans, Cortland Sutton at wide receiver, Zach Ertz in the tight end, Zeke Elliott in the flex, Mike Williams, Adam Thielen, and Juju right now the bench. So running back heavy early, a lot of receivers to follow up for me so far. Zach is on the clock. And we have a minute 15 or so to go on this pick. The good thing about tomorrow's is it's not going to be as rushed. We can actually go into the picks that are going as they come up, get some reaction, because it's hard to react to several picks in a row quickly. All right. Let's see. Where am I at? I think they took him already. Okay. Let's take a shot on Penny. He was very, very good last year. If he can stay healthy, that's a steal in the 10th round. Back to Joel, who took Renfro with his last pick. Still no quarterback for me yet. Don't know if I'm going to love the option when it gets back to me, but we will see. Joel does not need a quarterback. Goes Dawson Knox, a very good tight end pick. Rodgers and Stafford going to team 1 and 2, respectively, as backup quarterbacks. Reminder, in 10-team leagues, backup quarterback not necessary. 16-teamer, you get you might want one just in case because you never know what's going to happen. Waivers get thin real quick. But the 10-teamer, I think you get a little bit more room. Claypool, Prescott, Lance. So a quarterback run going right before me. Boy, that's not great. So, Dameon Pierce going at the turn. That would have been someone I was targeting here. Oh, man, this is not working out as well as I was hoping. Let's go Carter. Michael Carter, the Jets. We mentioned a little bit earlier. Beat reporters reporting he's still number 1 for the Jets. I don't know how long that lasts with Breece Hall, but Breece Hall went pick 5.1. I got Michael Carter 11.7. I like the value of Carter. If he gets any run, he's going to be well worth it. Zach on the clock. Diggs, Swift, Allen, Akers, Jeudy, Brown, Marquise Brown, Darnell Mooney, Russell Wilson, Devontae Smith, and Tony Pollard on the clock with his 11th round pick as we wait. Joel, how do you feel you're doing so far?
Well, like how I started out, some of the flex positions, not as confident as some I picking in the beginning, but it's a 10-team league, so I tend to feel generally better about that than about the 16-team league, which usually by this time you're cringing.
Yeah, there's still options out there that are decent. You can get by with 16-teamer right now. You'd be going after the scraps, some backups just to fill out the roster. That's why we reduced the bench positions by a little bit this year. For your team, the wide receiver depth and top end's a little frightening because you've got 3 young guys in Claypool, Higgins, and Waddle. I think it'll be a good option, but you never know when you get young guys. Naheem Hines to Zach, back to Zach on the clock once again. Hines is his running back 4 on the roster behind Pollard, Akers, and Swift. So for my taste, it's a little thin at the running back position, but I do think he made up for it well at the wide receiver position with Diggs, Allen, Jeudy. He does see Kadarius Toney, an interesting pick right there. Let's see. I've got 5 running backs, 5 receivers, and a tight end. I do need a quarterback, but I'm not loving any of these options enough to go and get them right this second. I'm hoping the guy I want lasts. So, oh boy. I'm going to do the kicker early strat, see if I can get ahead of everybody on that. Hopefully the guy I wanted falls back to my next pick. I think they're supposed to based on ADP, but only time will tell. Joel on the clock. No major need. Does take Julio Jones. Like that pick quite a bit. And then back to Joel. Doesn't have an open slot on his roster outside of bench, kicker, and defense. So he's got plenty to choose from. He can go with another receiver, tight end, running back. He could take a backup quarterback if he so chooses, or he could get a jump on those vacant spots in the starting lineup. It's bad. I've gotten to the point where I think taking a kicker around 15 is almost a big brain move. All right, so it's coming back to me. I was hoping it was going to be Kirk Cousins at this point. I compare him with Thielen the weeks I play him, if I have to play him. So I'm happy there with Thielen as my quarterback 1. I wouldn't have taken anybody that went between Tucker and that pick, so I'm pretty happy with how that turned out. Famous Jameis to Joel, the former Buck, back on a Bucks fans roster once again. I don't know what to make of Jameis yet. Harrison Butker to Zach. He's got 2 picks left, needs a defense and a tight end. So we'll see what he does. Sleeper will let you neglect to draft a slot. So there he goes with the tight end with Njoku, who'll be taking a defense with his next pick. For me, let's see. We need... don't want to go that route. It is shot in the dark time here. Let's go Brian Robinson. We talked about him being a potential starter for the Washington Commanders, the Durs, the Turds, whatever we want to call him. So 14.4, Brian Robinson. If he doesn't work out, he's cut after week 1. Go find that next guy off the waivers. There's going to be someone, again, remember, there's always going to be someone week 1 off the waiver wire, going to be very good for your roster to pick him up. So back to me. Time for a defense. Again, Colts, easy schedule to start the season, so we'll grab the Colts defense. Zach wraps it up at pick 9, 15.9 with a defense, I believe. And then we will go and critique the teams that are selected. And he goes Steelers defense. So let's start with Joel. Joel, pick number 3, gets an absolute gift at Jonathan Taylor. Pick number 3. Were you surprised that he fell? I know in sleeper drafts he does tend to fall a little bit more than you'll see in a real draft.
Yep,
but I was surprised at 3.
I was definitely surprised that he wasn't off the board already.
Happily surprised at 3, I'm sure. Nick Chubb, Javonte Williams, that's going to be the core of your roster. They're going to be starting lineup, running back 1, 2, and flex.
That's going to be don't think, don't blink, just start.
Yeah, as long as they stay healthy. Elijah Mitchell, though, could make enough noise where Javonte Mitchell, you're playing the matchup a little bit. T. Higgins, Jalen Waddle at the wide receiver, Renfro, Claypool, and Julio Jones to back them up. Quarterback Jalen Hurts and Jameis Winston. Tight ends Dallas Goedert and Dawson Knox with the Saints defense and Brandon McManus. So I'm guessing you're in the same boat. You love those first 3. That's going to be your set it and forget it kind of plays. How are you feeling at wide receiver, though?
Yeah, not as confident with wide receiver as I do feel at running back. But then again, you'd have Higgins and Waddle. You definitely have some upside there, even with Mitchell. It's just the whole question of my one question is, all right, I went strong with running back, and how much am I going to have to give up for running back to give up to get with wide receiver?
Yeah, and the thing is, you have Elijah Mitchell. You might be able to make a trade at some point if this was your roster to acquire a wide receiver or even Javonte Williams. Let's go to mine. That was pick number 7. Running backs, Alvin Kamara, Joe Mixon, and Zeke Elliott. That's probably going to be my 1, 2, and flex, similar to Joel. I like that start. But I did get Mike Evans, Cortland Sutton, Mike Williams, Adam Thielen, and Juju Smith-Schuster at the wide receiver position. Went real heavy there in the middle. Got a lot of guys that I think are pretty good values. Zach Ertz at tight end. I think with the Cardinals missing DeAndre Hopkins early on the season is going to be a very good pickup there. And then Penny Carter and Brian Robinson, depth running backs. A lot of upside with Robinson, a lot of upside with Carter. And we saw Penny be a top 2 or 3 running back when he played those 5 games at the end of last season. He was winning people leagues, so he could be an absolute steal in round 10. Kirk Cousins at quarterback, Justin Tucker, and the Colts defense. Any glaring weaknesses, anything you would have done a little bit differently there, Joel?
Just maybe a little bit more solid with the wide receivers. But if you're going to go running back, you have to sacrifice wide receivers.
Yeah, once you get to round 5, round 6, round 7, you're looking for guys that either have a lot of consistency, a track record like Adam Thielen, or guys like Cortland Sutton, Mike Williams that could really explode. I mean, Mike Williams is with Justin Herbert, an explosive quarterback. Cortland Sutton with an explosive quarterback in Russell Wilson. Juju Smith-Schuster, explosive quarterback in Pat Mahomes. So there's a lot of maybe they work out. Hopefully I have 2. Evans is a set and forget. So I got to find one every week, play the matchups. I think it'll be all right. Then we go to Zach. So quarterback Russell Wilson, no questions there. That's a good one. Starting running backs of Swift and Akers. I like both those. Akers, a little bit of an injury risk, but I think he'll be fine. Wide receivers Diggs, Allen, and Jerry Jeudy right now, the starters and flex. Then your bench would be Marquise Brown, Darnell Mooney, Devontae Smith, Kadarius Toney at wide receiver, Tony Pollard, Nyheim Hines at running back, and Njoku the tight end. And then Buckers and the Steelers defense. I think the glaring weakness here is the running back depth. Something happens to Swift or Akers, going to be a little tough. This is a team that I think after week 1, you'd really be scrambling for that waiver wire guy, that waiver wire fire week 1 breakout guy to fill it. Now, if Swift and Akers are healthy and everything they can be, this is going to be just fine. Any thoughts on Zach's roster, Joel?
No, just other than the fact of his first pick, just a bit of a surprise.
Yeah, a little surprised to go Diggs over Adams and Chase. Again, different is not wrong because there are people taking Jefferson over Kupp. There are people taking Chase over everybody. I think Stephon Diggs with that Bills offense is going to be one of the best offenses in football. Stephon Diggs was disappointing as the wide receiver 6 or 7 last year. He's got room to grow. I think Gabe Davis is going to open that offense up for him. So I don't hate the pick. Keenan Allen, again, you're with a great quarterback, Jerry Jeudy. Again, same argument I made for Sutton and Williams, I can make for Allen and Jeudy. They're both with great quarterbacks. There's
and also
massive upside.
You also have the argument you can definitely make against Mooney, who sort of tended to fade a little bit, I think, last year.
The problem with Mooney is that he's on the Bears. Darnell Mooney is a great player, and he was an over 1,000-yard receiver last year with Justin Fields. So he should get a lot of the passing game work. It's a team that's going to pass a lot. Again, you're looking around 7. It's going to be your wide receiver 5. I think Mooney's well worth that slot. So before we wrap it up, let's look at the non-user drafted teams, the ones that were not Zach, myself, and I. Which team of those other 7 do you like most and why?
I don't know. I tend to the team 10. You have Harris, Adams, and Pitts that just seems to have a lot of upside to it.
Yeah, a lot of upside. So the team here starts Najee Harris, Devontae Adams, Kyle Pitts, Pat Mahomes. So boom, 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 boom. Get a starter for every position. It's risky.
The two risks that you see that are very glaring right there are, of course, Cooper and Metcalf that jump out at you.
Yeah, it's a little bit risky because the quarterback's there, but it's risky to go tight end quarterback. It's risky to take quarterbacks with not the best quarterbacks or wide receivers, not the best quarterback situations.
Then you have Hunt and Brown, so you definitely have some depth.
Yeah, Hunt, St. Brown, Ramondre Stevenson, thin at running back, but I think you can get by with those 3 if they can all stay healthy. An interesting team there. For me, I think the one I like most is going to be team number 6. That's Justin Jefferson, Aaron Jones, Mark Andrews, Michael Pittman, Lamar Jackson, Allen Robinson, Miles Sanders, Gabe Davis, Chase Edmonds, Allen Lazard. This might be because they hit a lot of those pet guys I'm liking to pick. If I'm in that middle of the pack drafting, pick 4, 5, 6, Justin Jefferson's probably my pick unless Taylor falls back for some reason. I'm high on Andrews. I'm high on Pittman. I'm high on Robinson. I'm higher on Sanders than most. I'm high on Davis. I'm high on Edmonds. I'm high on Lazard. So this is the team that, being directly in front and after me, drafted a lot of guys I like, which would frustrate me in a real draft. But in a mock draft, you look at it and go, wow, they did get a pretty good team. So like when I picked Zeke, it was Zeke or Pittman. Pittman goes right after. When it was Williams, it was Williams or Robinson. He goes right after. I was hoping for Thielen or Sanders. They go back to back. I was thinking Gabe Davis or Juju. I kind of wanted the upside of possibly the wide receiver one with Pat Mahomes, but I can't argue. I was hoping to get Edmund. It's just uncanny how often this team hit the guy I was hoping for or took the guy I was debating between. And it wasn't like 1, 2 in the ADP. It was really like this was the second team I was drafting almost. So anyways, Zach, love having you with us when you draft with us. It's always a fun time. Tomorrow night, you'll be drafting with us again for real.
And
8 p.m.
Just quickly, I think Team 5 tends to have a little bit of a bang or bust vibe going with it.
Especially the running back, yeah.
Yeah, well, in that case, I'm just thinking the names that leap off of the far bang or bust definitely have to be Justin Herbert. And, yeah, how about Antonio Gibson?
Yeah, I mean, the running back room of Connor Gibson, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Damian Harris with trade rumors, Gibson with working with the third team and the punt team. Clyde Edwards-Helaire might have some good passing upside this year. Connor with the old injury history with Pittsburgh. He was fine last year, but a lot of regression possible. So, interesting team. Now, again, different is not wrong. Taking chances because Gibson might overproduce on this ADP. He was in the 6th round, so should be pretty good. If he can get it together. I don't know. That's a mess for me. But I do like the Kupp Lamb stack. I'm not high on Lamb, but as your wide receiver 2, not as bad. I would personally not have gone there. I went where I went the last draft in Deebo Samuel on the way back. But, each person's going to have their own opinion. Again, different is not necessarily wrong. But yes, thank you for Zach for jumping in this one with us. Again, tomorrow night, 8 p.m., I'm going to have to get the second laptop, get some kind of contraption so I can get the video of the screen so we can get the live picks as they go on. Minute and a half per pick, so we'll actually be able to talk a little bit about each pick, go over them a little slowly instead of there's, Pollard, Cook, Penny, Lazard, Burks, Lockett, now it's Joel, So that's going to be a good thing. It's finally draft time.
We're here to embrace our fantasy destiny.
Yep. So we'll be back again just before 8 to set up, and probably about 7:50 to 7:55 will be the start time. I have my golf league championship before that, so I might be coming in on a real high. We are currently up 2 points to 1, so we got to get 1.5 points this week to clinch, and we'll see how that goes. And then, draft night tomorrow night, 8 p.m., draft night Friday night at 7:30 p.m., so looking forward to that. Looking forward to drafting with Zach, Joel, and everybody else in both leagues as we get there.
Like the old show 24 used to say, events will occur in real time.
Yeah, we're on the clock. Under 24 hours to go, and it will be draft o'clock. So I'm ready. Frankly, I'm ready. I've been working dynasty trades like crazy. Watching people start to really get ramped up for the season. So I'm ready for this draft. This is going to be draft number 3 for redraft this year. I've got 3 or 4 more. We might actually live draft the Megla Bowl draft this year, Joel. It's an option. It's going to be a 10 p.m. draft, but it's Tuesday, the 6th of September as of right now. I don't know if Joel's going to be up. I'll be drafting. I might live stream it just for the fun. For those of you who don't know, Megla Bowl, fantasy footballers, massive multi-thousand person draft league. At one point, I was 6th overall, and then Derrick Henry and David Montgomery got hurt, and that kind of started to fall apart. But did make it. I did make it to the semifinals. Finished in the top 200, and I think it was 240 or so, out of 17,000. So not terrible losing those two guys and Henry for most of the season. So we're gonna see if we can improve on that. But yeah, maybe that's gonna be a little ways down the road, whether we live stream that or not. So we got the draft tomorrow. Draft Friday, a little bit of a break. So, all right, Joel. Anything you want to add to wrap this one up?
Nope. Other than let's ready to rumble and good luck to the rest of the league.
Yeah, good luck to everybody. I don't have a trophy for the 10.
May the force be with you.
Yeah. On Friday I'll get to wear my championship ring while I hold my championship trophy on. That is on Friday. Tomorrow I get to live in shame because I didn't do well in that league. So with that. We gone.